Hi, this is Vinyl Drinks with my first YouTube video, and I'm going to be starting it off with a review of the Rolling Stones Steel Wheels Live 1989 from Atlantic City, New Jersey show. This came out just a few weeks ago. This is one I was really excited about for a few reasons. One, I'm just a huge Rolling Stones fan, so anytime they come out with a new live set, especially something as big as this one, I'm always eager to jump on it. Now, as most people know, whether you're a Stones fan or just a rock fan in general, they do have a large live catalog when it comes to the From the Vault series. Now, this actually isn't from the Vault series. This is a smaller series that they're doing with Eagle Rock Entertainment. And as far as the differences between the audio or the video quality, I don't really know if there is any. Maybe somebody with a sharper eye or sharper ear might be able to hear a difference. But for me, I've never been disappointed with either. I was particularly excited about this one because I first started listening to the Stones in the mid-90s, and this is obviously before you could just stream or download any kind of music you wanted to listen to. You had to be very specific in what you wanted to listen to. So I grew up in a small town. CDs in general were not necessarily hard to come by, but the variety was hard to come by. So if I wanted to listen to the Stones, I really didn't have a lot of different options. Plus, I didn't have the knowledge of knowing that I should start off with maybe Sticky Fingers or Exile on Main Street. The first thing I saw was an album called Flashpoint. It had a lot of songs on there that I recognized the titles, so I picked it up. Later, obviously finding out that it was excerpts from this Steel Wheels tour. And so a lot of those songs and the way that they're recorded is really the way I first was introduced to the Stones. So hearing a full concert from those excerpts was really interesting to me. I'm going to start off by saying I was not disappointed in any way. It's a fantastic concert, and I'm going to get into the specifics of why that is. So first off, I'm going to start off talking about the vinyl record itself. So it's a 4-disc set. And, as most new pressings are, they probably could have made it 3, and we can kind of go into the details of that. It's the thing I do really like about it is this great colored vinyl. You can see all 4 are either this great orange or this blue, which obviously matches the cover of the album. You can see it's basically the same as the Steel Wheels studio album, but it has this great color. Honestly, I don't know why they went with that, but I think it's very aesthetically pleasing. So the reason why I really feel that they could have probably brought it down to 3 instead of 4, you can see there's a lot of dead wax in just these 2 albums alone. They probably could have fit at least one more song, I would think, in each album, which probably could have shaved it down. But, I understand more discs means you can charge more for it. But all albums played great. They were in great condition. I got this through Cover Your Ears audio files. I got it through Amazon. But obviously, this being a new pressing, wherever you buy it from, it's going to come the same. But the thing I really want to talk about is the stage show. And you can see here in the pictures, it really is fun to see them in their prime here. At the time, I've actually been able to talk to a few people who actually went to this tour. And, a lot of people who were in their 20s at the time seeing the Stones, they were kind of viewed as the old man group. And now here in 2020, we can kind of laugh about that, seeing is that without COVID, they would have been on tour this summer. Now, I do definitely understand why some people thought that. The Stones hadn't toured since '82 in promotion of the Tattoo You album. And they had obviously put out albums. They had put out Under Cover of Night and Dirty Work, but they hadn't toured to promote any of those albums. Both Keith and Mick were feuding at the time. They both put out solo albums, and a lot of people didn't know where the direction of the band was going. Some people thought that they were done, and this tour showed that they definitely still had a lot left in the tank. Like I said, this was in '89, and they really did promote a lot of their 80s albums that I have out here. They didn't play anything off Emotional Rescue. Peppered throughout the first half of the set, they play about half of the Steel Wheels album, which I feel is a very underrated and great Stones album. I really think that a lot of these albums from, really all of them from the 80s, excluding Tattoo You, of course, are really kind of forgotten in their catalog. Obviously, you know, Emotional Rescue, Undercover, Dirty Work, and Steel Wheels aren't necessarily Exile. They're not Sticky Fingers. You know, they're not their iconic albums that a lot of people immediately think of. But with that said, that doesn't mean that they're bad albums. I actually listen to these 5 on a regular basis. Once again, that might be because I first started listening to the Stones from that Flashpoint album I was earlier talking about, that has that kind of 80s sound and does feature a lot of the songs from those albums. Now, this was actually the final show on the American leg of the Steel Wheels tour, and it was actually the last tour that they would have with bassist Bill Wyman. And to me, this was really, for me, and once again, maybe I'm biased with where I fell in with the Stones, is really them at their best. You know, they had Ronnie Wood, who's still in the band, of course, but you know, they had Wood, Wyman, of course, Keith and Mick, and you know, our favorite stone-faced drummer, Charlie Watt. Another reason why I really love this show in particular, and I'm sure it's one of the reasons why they chose this out of all the shows that they had played on this tour, is the featured acts that come out to play with them. They include Axl Rose and Izzy Stradlin of Guns N' Roses, Eric Clapton, and Johnny Lee Hooker, who, of course, the Stones pulled a lot of their inspiration from. So with all of that, great set list, great stage show, all around, those are the things that really make this a great live show. Now, getting in the specifics of it, Axl Rose and Izzy Stradlin come out to do a duet of Salt of the Earth off of the Beggar's Banquet album. I really love that they chose that song because, for one, it's not really regarded as a Stones hit, but they really do a great job of playing off each other. They sound great together, and it really puts a whole new spin on that song, which I love when a band does that live, especially if they bring out a non-member to collaborate on that song. In all honesty, I probably have listened to that song on this album the most. It's been a go-to ever since I've purchased this. I'm a huge Eric Clapton fan, so to see him out there with the band was something really special. I'm sure some know that he actually did come in and record with them during the Sticky Fingers sessions, and they actually did an alternate take of Brown Sugar with him on lead guitar. And at the time, there was actually rumors that he might join the band. Now, obviously, in hindsight, it would have been disastrous. Obviously, Clapton is a blues musician just like the Stones are, but he has a very different take on how the blues should be played. Obviously, with his long guitar riffs and solos, it just wouldn't have fit with the band. And obviously, with him and Keith, it would have been a toxic relationship. But this is a glimpse of how that could have gone. So it was really great to see him out there with the band and playing. And then as soon as that song was over, which they played Little Red Rooster, which is a Johnny Lee Hooker song, the man himself, Johnny Lee Hooker, comes out and performs with them, playing the Boogie Chillin' song of his. I got to admit, I do have a lot of respect for Johnny Lee Hooker. I don't really think he was into the show. It kind of felt like something that he was maybe talked into. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I am, obviously. But that is not, in all honesty, one of the highlights of the show for me. But any maybe blues purists will really enjoy seeing that. What I next want to talk about is that's the vinyl, and it was, like I said, great pressing. It sounded great. I have no issues with it whatsoever. I am going to now, though, talk about the CD-DVD companion. So you have two audio discs and then a Blu Ray of the concert. The Blu-ray is actually in standard def, so take that what you will. Visually it does look great, but it is in standard def. The thing that I do like about it though is it has that very late 80s feel to it, which I love. The stage show really brings that out. Obviously seeing an act like Guns N' Roses, who were huge at the time, they were just coming off the release of Appetite for Destruction, and they were really the biggest new band out there. So to see them with the Stones, and I'm sure at the time it seemed like it was almost a passing of the torch. Now in hindsight, obviously, about a handful of years later, Guns N' Roses was over and Rolling Stones were still going strong. Funny enough, when they opened for the Stones on this tour in LA, Duff McKagan, the bassist of Guns N' Roses, actually said that he felt that was the beginning of the end for the band, because those 3 shows he saw splintering between him and Axl and Slash. So that was kind of sad to hear, but like I said, it was really fun to watch Izzy and Axl out there with the Rolling Stones, who they really admired and played regularly up to that point and into the future Stones covers when they would play live. The other thing I want to talk about is the relationship with the backing band. The backing band had some actually really great people out there with them. One in particular that I want to highlight was Lisa Fischer. She did actually backing vocals with the Stones and other R&B singers, including Chaka Khan and Luther Vandross. She has a great back and forth with Mick, not just with the singing vocals back and forth, obviously on Gimme Shelter and Miss You, but really their stage presence together, kind of their back and forth, acting out together. It just really kind of brings out the visualness of the show. I also want to talk about Chuck Leavell. He plays keyboard, backing vocals, and he was actually also the musical director. He was a member of the Allman Brothers in the 70s, and I'm sure most Allman Brothers fans know that, but he also toured with Clapton and Gilmour and George Harrison. So it was just really great to see him out there. He's a familiar face, and I really felt that he did a great job really bringing together the backing band, because that really did bring the show from just the Stones jamming, where you can really see that anywhere, especially in their early shows, as far as the Ladies and Gentlemen, the Rolling Stones concert video, which has been one of my go-tos for years. This really kind of brings out the whole show and brings it from just like a club atmosphere, a stadium atmosphere, to just a huge ensemble. And so those are really the 2 things that bring it out. So with that said, unlike the From the Vault series, which usually you can get with the vinyl and the DVD combined. For instance, I have the live from the Hamptons Coliseum. That comes with the DVD and the vinyl. Obviously, because that's from the vinyl series and this is a Eagle Rock Entertainment series, that's probably why they're 2 different ones. So if you have to choose, even though I love vinyl and I do love this in my collection, if you have to choose between the 2 or you don't want both, I honestly would go with the concert video and CD. Now, most of you that are watching this, I'm sure you're not really CD people, and neither am I. So I kind of wish that they had provided, and maybe they will in the future, just a video version of this and not with a CD. Just because it's, it really wasn't that much more than what I would expect a Blu-ray video of this to be. It's unneeded. I'm never going to listen to the CDs. And 2, if I can be super critical, the spine is just very chunky. I don't have very many concert DVDs, but I do have a decent amount, and the area that I keep them in is already kind of limited. So to add this chunky thing to the shelf, it's going to take up a lot of space. But with that said, if it's really that big of a deal, obviously I can take it out and put it in its own small jewel case. I do see, though, the benefits of getting this. I actually have a friend who's a huge Stones fan. He's an older gentleman, and he actually still listens to CDs. He has a 500 disc CD changer that he's had since the 90s that he still listens to music on, and he actually did buy this, and this was perfect for him because he can obviously listen to the audio CD or he can put on the concert itself. So if I was going to choose between the two, I honestly would go with this for the very points that I was talking about. It's a great visual show, not only with the backing band, not only with the stage presence, and just like I said, with the people who come out, Axl and Izzy and Clapton, because Clapton actually doesn't sing at all, which I was kind of disappointed because I really would have liked to have seen what that would have been like, hearing him and Mick sing together. But obviously his guitar does the singing as it usually does. So anyway, this is definitely a great pickup. I definitely recommend it. It's been in regular rotation since I bought this a few weeks ago. So go out there, listen to it, enjoy it, and the review. And if anybody's lucky enough to have this album, I hope you enjoy, and cheers.